With Pesach just around the corner, many of us are pulling out our Haggadot, planning the Seder, and maybe even wondering, what's the real purpose of the Haggadah? Is it a prayer book, a piece of Torah literature, or maybe something else entirely? In Judaism, we generally categorize our holy texts into two types. First, there's the Torah, whether in scrolled or book form, which is God's communication with us. Then there's the Siddur, the prayer book, our communication with God. So where does the Haggadah fit in? Is it something to be recited like the Siddur, or studied like the Torah? On the one hand, many people read the Haggadah word for word at the Seder, treating it like a fixed liturgy, just like we do with Siddur. On the other hand, every year there's an explosion of new Haggadot, with fresh commentaries, insights, artwork, and more. That sounds a lot like Torah study. So which is it? Let's take a step back. The word Haggadah comes from the Hebrew lehagid, which means to tell. Thus, its core purpose is not to be recited or studied. It is to help us tell the story of the Exodus, just as the Torah commands. And you shall tell your child on that day. The Rambam Maimonides explains this beautifully. He says, it is a positive commandment to relate the miracles and wonders done for our ancestors in Egypt. A father should teach his child according to the child's ability. One begins with degradation and concludes with praise. And in every generation, each person must see themselves as if they themselves left Egypt. From this, we learn four key principles. 1, we're commanded to tell the story of the Exodus and its miracles. 2, the way we tell it should change based on the age, background, and understanding of those at the table. 3, the story must begin with suffering and end with redemption. 4, we must personally experience it. Each person should feel as if they themselves were slaves who were set free. In other words, the Haggadah is not a script to be recited and not a text to be dissected. It's a story to be told, and not just told, relived. The goal of the Seder is to spark conversation, to awaken empathy, to create a shared experience that's personal, emotional, and alive. And that conversation should look different in every home and every year, depending on who's at your table and what's happening in the world. And this year, as we think about the pain of slavery and the hope of redemption, we can't ignore the very real suffering of Israeli hostages still being held in Gaza. So how do we prepare for the Seder? Not just with food. We need to prepare the conversation. What will we talk about? What questions will we ask? What stories will we share? Fortunately, there's no shortage of resources, and I'd be more than happy to share suggestions if you're looking for some ideas and inspiration. So this Pesach, may our Seder be more than a ritual. May it be a powerful, personal reenactment of our national journey from darkness to light. And may we merit to see the fulfillment of the blessing that we say over the second cup of wine. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has redeemed us and our ancestors from Egypt. So may the Lord our God bring us in peace to future festivals, rejoicing in your service and thanking you with a new song for our redemption and for the salvation of our souls. If you found this video meaningful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And leave a comment. How will you bring the story of the Exodus to life at your Seder?